All right, it's your boy Mr. Chief Sense, and I am just getting in. I had to work today, in which I've been working ever since I started my new job. I told my bosses I'll work every Saturday if need be. I haven't missed a Saturday in about a month now since I've been working at this new job, and I know with all this Corona stuff going on, until my boss man shuts it down, I'm going to work. I know the risk is not as great as you may think it is, because here, as of now, I think we only have 2 confirmed cases, and I don't know how many other people were infected before they were found out to be positive for the coronavirus. But for the most part, I'm not one of those people who panic about a lot of stuff. I'm not running out trying to do this and do that and try to avoid everybody. It just, with me, is what it is. I know for some that hear this from me, it may be foolish, but I've never been one of those type, when pandemonium hits, I'm not panicking and running around trying to find water and all this kind of stuff. That's just not me, man. So what I did want to do is, being that it is officially spring as of, I think, a day or 2 ago, I've been thinking about this, and I wanted to do something that actually ticks off a lot of people, especially some reviewers, because there are certain people out there who don't like when we do top 5 or top 10 lists or whatever kind of list. They despise when we do that. So I guess I'm finna tick off a lot of people by doing this list. So it is what it is, and this may end up being more than one part video. This may be 3 different parts, because I have a lot of stuff spread out here. And no, this is not one of those videos where it's going to be a bunch of expensive stuff. This is more on the lower end side. There may be 2 or 3, maybe 4 that are a little bit in another bracket, but we'll see. So without further ado, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please make sure you do so. Make sure you ring the bell for notifications. Icon opens up above the bell. Hit all so you get all content uploaded by me through this channel. Like the video, share the video, and be active in the comment section. With that being said, let's get into it. So I don't know what the issue is with people and why they don't like when we do top 5, top 10, whatever list. Whatever their issue is with it, they just gonna have to deal with it, especially dealing with somebody like me, because I give a crap about what they think. So let's jump into it. Now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 10, and then whatever is left over, if I have enough for another 10, I'll do another 10. So this may be, like I said, maybe a 3-part video, but we'll see. So this is not in any particular order. I'm just gonna grab some fragrances and show you what I have, and then we'll go from there. And I want to keep these kind of separated, so when I shuffle them over, I won't confuse what was in the last video with the next video. So give me just a second to get this situated. Keys. All right, so being that it's springtime officially, we don't want to wear a lot of heavy fragrances. I know for the fall and winter, even though here it never got that cold enough to wear something super heavy, but being that it's spring now, you want to go with more bright, more refreshing, fresh, citrusy type fragrances, uplifting, stuff like that. And I, for the most part, think I did a pretty decent job. There may be 1 or 2 that somebody might think that may fall into a different category, but for the most part, I'm pretty satisfied with what I pulled out. I think I need to pull this one out also. I think that's it. Let me check this one. Let's see. pass on that one. All right, so let's get to it. All right, first off, I'm gonna go with if there are people out there who like the note of fig, then you're definitely gonna want to go to Old Navy and pick up this one from Kendrick Goods. This one is sea salt and fig, if you can see that. This one caught a lot of hype a while back, and it kind of intrigued me because I am a fan of fig. I like eating figs, and this one is very nice. Now, the performance on this isn't that great. Off of my skin, I may have gotten an hour, maybe an hour and a half of decent projection, probably about 2.5, 3, maybe 3.5 hours of longevity out of this. And then I had to reapply. But within the time frame of having this on, it smelled great. I did get compliments when I wore this. As you can tell, I did wear a little bit of it when I first got it. Being that I got away from it and I have so much other stuff, I was never able to get back to it. So this is not a bad fragrance. Now, when I bought this one from Old Navy, it was like, I think $7.99 or something like that. And now they have a bigger bottle of it, and it's probably running about $12.99, between $12.99 to maybe $15, something like that. So if you can find this one, I think it's a pretty decent purchase. Something that you can maybe leave in your vehicle, because I don't like leaving fragrances in my vehicle. It is way too hot. It breaks down the composition of the fragrance. In most cases, it is way too hot in those cars. But this is something that's inexpensive. You could just leave in the car if you want to, spray on, and go on about your business. If you want to run errands and stuff like that, then this is perfect for that. But I like this. Not a bad atomizer. Very fresh, fruity with that fig. It does have like a sea salty, like a beachy kind of aspect to it. It's nice. It's very nice. So that is Kendrick Goods Sea Salt and Fig. That's number 10. A fragrance that I wore yesterday, a classic from the House of Nautica. And I think this is the only fragrance I have from the House of Nautica. I'm not a big fan of Nautica fragrances. There's a lot of them out there, Sport and some others, but this one is the top one for me. This is Nautica Voyage. And you can tell I really didn't wear this but like maybe once or twice since I've had it. I think I had a different bottle of this and I gave it away. And I ended up with this particular one, and I like this one better. Smells great. It has that, it's like almost a fruity aspect to it. Very refreshing, aquatic type fragrance. I like it. Performance off of my skin with this one, I got maybe hour and a half projection off of it. Longevity was 6+ off of my skin. I get at least 6 to 7 hours maybe. I wore it all day yesterday. I wore it to my first job, and then about 5 o'clock I reapplied. I got off at 10, so that's what, from 5 to 10, that's 5 hours. So yeah, about 6.5 hours of longevity off of my skin. So not a bad fragrance, and you can find this almost anywhere. You can find it at City Trends, Ross, Bells, Burks, if you got a Burks, TJ Maxx, places like that. Very inexpensive. You could probably find 100 ml of this for like 15, 20 bucks. Sometimes you can find it for like 12 or $9.99 or something like that, just depending on where you're looking. So at the number 9 spot, Nautica Voyage. At the number 8 spot, I haven't worn this much. Has a heck of an atomizer on it. I'm going to show you again. Now, if you have the other one, the original from this house, which is the House of Zegna, then Zegna Uomo, which kind of gives you a Acqua di Gio type vibe. I would prefer, if you saw that one, pick that one up. It's in a tall, if you get the full size one, it's in a tall bottle. It's kind of flat, and it has like grooves along it, so when you run your hands across it, it makes some kind of noise. That's a great fragrance, inexpensive, about $9-10, something like that. But Z Zegna is also a good one, which is a nice one for spring and summer. Hot outside, spray this on. It's refreshing. It still falls along the lines of fragrances like Nautica Voyage, something that's, you know, refreshing, kind of uplifting. It's bright. I like this one a lot. I don't wear it much. I think I've worn it maybe a couple of times. You can see the juice level is down on it. I need to wear it again. I may spray this on because I'm about to leave in a few minutes to try to find me something to eat. But not a bad fragrance at all. I think this one was like 15, 20 bucks. I can't remember exactly where I got it from. Maybe TJ Maxx, but this is Z Zegna. Not bad at all. But if you can find Zegna Uomo, pick that one up instead. So that's number 8. At the number 7 spot, I'm going to go with the original first, but then I'm going to show you an alternative to it. This one is a classic fragrance. It's been around for a long time. I actually had the mild deodorant version, and I didn't know it was a variation of it, so I got rid of that one, and I finally just recently, maybe a few weeks ago, got the original Eau de Toilette version. I know there is a Parfum or Eau de Parfum version, whatever you want to call it, or whichever one it is, but I'm cool with the original Davidoff Cool Water. As my boy like Trey likes to say, Cool Waters. But it's Cool Water. And very nice fragrance. Y'all already know what you're getting. Semi-sweet. It's aquatic. It does kind of remind me of, what's the name of it? Aspen a little bit. Aspen, in my perspective, is a little bit sweeter than Cool Water, but I like Aspen, and Cool Water is close to it. Very nice. Atomizer, not bad. If you can't find a decent sized bottle of this, or if your local store doesn't have it, and you see this bottle, which I reviewed this the other day, you can tell they were trying to mimic it. Same coloration, just a different style bottle. But if you can find this, don't be hesitant to pick it up. I mean, I know a lot of people are into name brands and stuff like that, but if you don't show somebody what you have on, or tell them the actual name of it, then how are they going to know? This Victory Pour Homme smells almost identical to Aspen, but it has the same aspect as Cool Water. So this is a little sweeter, and I actually can vouch for this one. I like this one a lot. Despite what others may say. Now, I don't want to get into somebody going out and buying a bunch of these cheapies like this, because later on down the line, like I did, my sense of what I was into changed, and I'm now more into a little bit higher quality of stuff. I still like my cheapies, but you know, I don't want a collection of a whole bunch of stuff like this. I just don't. But if you can't find this, then go for this. So at the number 7 spot, I should say, is Davidoff Cool Water and the alternative Victory Pour Homme. Number 6. If you don't have Acqua di Gio, and which I do have a small bottle of it, which was gifted to me by a subscriber some time back, because I just wanted to get my nose on it. But before I even got that, I already had the alternative to it. It does add a little twist to it, and if you're not a big fan of Perry Ellis, then you're not going to want to deal with this. But I can say that this does perform a whole heck of a lot better than Acqua di Gio, and it gives you a slight spiciness to it. It is Perry Ellis 360 Red. This has stood the test of time in my book. It almost has the exact same DNA as Acqua di Gio, but like I said, it adds a slight spiciness to it. Perfect for hot days, especially if this is a cool fragrance, like it's been inside on the shelf in the AC. Or you can stick this in your refrigerator for a little while, let it get cold, spray it on. Invigorating. It'll wake you right up. So at the number 6 spot, that is Perry Ellis 360 Red. You can find this one at TJ Maxx, Ross, places like that, Marshalls. You can find 100 ml or better for like 15, 20 bucks. It's very inexpensive. And I know a lot of my subscribers are gonna be ecstatic that I'm doing this cheapie list, because that's what got me into the game, is cheapies, and a lot of people were big fans of mine because of the cheapies. And being that I have such great subscribers, I kind of started getting in a lot of niche and niche. I know how to say it. It's just I started getting in some niche and indie type stuff, and you know, I started just trying to get my subscriber base a little bit broader than what it usually is, and for the most part, it's worked. So hopefully you all are enjoying this list. So that was number 7. Number 6. One that's going to be a little bit higher in price depending on where you find it and what you find it in, whether it's in a gift set or just a bottle by itself. I actually want a bigger bottle of this. I'm a huge fan of this particular one. I actually like this much better than I like the other version of it, which is Dylan Blue. But this is Versace Pour Homme, a very fresh, clean type fragrance, and that's all I can say about it. It smells so good. It has a little bit of pepperiness to it, which is why I probably wouldn't go heavy on this, but a couple of sprays of this and it'll go a long way. Performance out of this one off of my skin, I think I got about 2 hours of projection. I got maybe 6-7 hours of longevity out of it. Compliment magnet when I wore it to work at the hospital. So if you can find this at a decent price, I know TJ Maxx usually has gift sets of this. If you can find a decent price gift set, then jump on it. If not, if you can find a single bottle of this somewhere around Christmas time or online or something, pick it up. It is Versace Pour Homme. Number 5 spot. Number 4 spot. I'm going to go with a house that not a lot of people talk about. And this one is kind of up in the air for me because I sprayed this just to see, remind myself what I was getting. And I think this can fall into that same category, spring and summer. From the house of Ferrari, this is Scuderia Ferrari Scuderia. This is the box that it comes in, and this is the bottle. And this is one of those nice springtime type fragrances. I can't remember the notes on this, but I have done a review on this. So if you want to reference any of these fragrances that I have in this list right now, go back through my collection of videos and find it. I'm sure it will do you justice. If I'm not mistaken, I think this does have some florals in it. I'm not totally sure. That's what I'm picking up from the spray. It does have some kind of florals in it, but for the most part, I think this is a perfect fragrance for spring and summer. It was inexpensive. I think it was like 15, 20 bucks for, this is 125 ml. I know Ross usually has a lot of stuff like this in their stores. Not a bad fragrance. I actually got compliments. If you reference the video for this one, I got compliments when I wore this to work. I can't exactly remember what the performance was like on this one because I only wore it once, but I did get compliments. I do remember that much. So from the house of Ferrari, this is Scuderia Ferrari Scuderia. That is number 4. Number 3 is one I have to throw in here. I haven't worn this one yet, but it is a fresh version, and I did spray it a few minutes ago, and it is from the house of Cartier or Cartier. This is Declaration. Nice looking bottle. I'm really not too fond of this little thing here, but decent atomizer. Very fresh. I wouldn't go too many sprays of this. It's not strong, but it does seem like it has some kind of floral aspect to it. I'm not totally sure what's in it. Don't quote me on that. But what I'm getting from the spray, I'm picking up citrus, but I'm also picking up some kind of floral. It kind of reminds me of the floral that's in this Scuderia one, but it's a nice smelling fragrance. Couple of sprays of this should do you justice depending on your skin and stuff like that, but not a bad fragrance. Now, this one is, when I found it, it was like on the close to the $25 to $30 range. So if you can find it marked down or something like that, pick it up. But personally speaking, I don't know if I would pay $30, $35 for something like this. Not me personally, but it's not a bad fragrance whatsoever. And I am going to give this some wearing maybe tomorrow. I'm not planning on doing anything, but I may just spray some on just to, lounge around and see how it performs off my skin. But at the number, 3 spot now, Declaration by Cartier. Number 2 spot is one a lot of people said they didn't like. Some people said it gave them headaches. They were trying to get rid of it. And I was interested in getting a backup bottle of this, but I haven't worn it much. I don't get the headache thing. A lot of people just don't like the bottle itself. It kind of reminds me of a Gear Shift. But it is from the house of Mercedes. It is from Mercedes-Benz Club. And the atomizer is not the best, but it gets the job done. Don't go too many sprays of this. Maybe 2 sprays max, depending on where you're putting it. And if I was to spray this, I'd spray 1 spray dead center of the shirt and maybe the back of the neck, 2 sprays. I can see why some people would get a headache from this, especially inhaling it, as strong as it is. It's not super strong, but it is strong enough to cause headaches. This one, I can't remember exactly how much this one was. I'm assuming it was around the $25 range. I wouldn't pay $25, $30 for it again. Maybe if you could find it for like $15 to $20, that would be it. I know a lot of people aren't going to be too fond of this one being in the list, but I actually like this fragrance. It's not bad. And that's from the house of Mercedes. It is Mercedes-Benz Club at the number 2 spot. And at the number 1 spot for this first list, I must go with, let's go with this one. So I've never really been a big fan of John Varvatos. I know a lot of John Varvatos fragrances smell good. Performance is where they lack, and this is with no exception, but it does smell pretty good. Not as good as one of the other ones I have from them on this list, but it makes it at the #1 spot on this list, and it is Artisan by John Varvatos, and this one was gifted to me by a subscriber. I like the bottle. I like the wicker that's around the bottle. Atomizer, not too bad. And it's one of those fresh, kind of bright, it's something in this. I don't know what it is, but it gives it a nice aroma besides the freshness to it. It's not bad. It's pretty good. I haven't worn this one yet. So this is probably my 3rd time spraying it and sniffing it just to see what it smells like. And it smells pretty good. Performance, like I just said, it's hard for me to say. But it did fall into this list for spring and summertime type fragrance. So it has to have a little bit of performance. But anyway, that's it for this list, y'all. I'm at 26 going on 27 minutes. So let me go ahead and end this video, and part 2 coming up soon. Stay tuned. Peace.